Welcome back to May Malaise, the yearly post-season tournament we do after the April Anger Tournament season, where we figure out which of our amiibo is the absolute worst. Our first match is going to be Min Min against Pit. Alright, looks like we're going to be on the Great Plateau. In case anybody's forgotten, the preseason and postseason both have an expanded stage list. The idea being that since the tournament is high stakes, there's stuff on the line, even if it's prizes you could probably buy with a $5 bill most of the time. So we do try to make things rather consistent for that. However, for May Malaise, we can be a little bit more open and free, which, first of all, means that we have different stages. We just have a larger stage choice, which is always nice. And as a result of that, it also means that we get different audio songs, different soundtracks. And Min Min was not able to grab the ledge. A little surprising at that. Canceling the arrow with a... I think it's a neutral special. I don't know what to call it. So Min Min has two arms, which I guess pretty much every character has two arms. But it's worth mentioning because one of her arms is the special arm that she can switch out for different things. And the other one is the dragon arm, which it can be confusing because her switching out arm can also be a dragon arm as well if you want two of them. It's probably the least likely choice simply because you already have the one dragon arm by default. So since you always have that, you want your second arm to be something different so that you have more options available. But again, it is cool that you have the option to choose two dragons if you so please. So I mention this because Min Min can actually input a lot of her attacks using the B button, which most characters can't. Most characters just get the 4 special moves when you use the B button, maybe with a special input here or there. But Min Min, her special moves are effectively an extra set of normal moves that she can cancel out any of her moves into. It's really cool because it does actually integrate the gameplay and core systems of Smash Brothers, but it does also feel like you're playing ARMS just a little bit because you do, again, have 2 arms you can deploy at any given time. Min Min sliding under Pit there, that's actually, well, first of all, pretty difficult to do. I'm sure that if you were to time it out in practice mode, you could get it fairly consistently. But if you're not trying to do it, then, well, it's just surprising because Min Min's down tilt slide obviously puts her really low to the ground, and Pit's up smash in his animation does actually take him off the floor just a little bit, allowing him to jump over that move without having to actually use a jump. Min Min is just loving hitting Pit into the ceiling there, and it keeps working. She's gotten a lot of her damage that way. Min Min goes off stage to deal with Pit, a little interesting of a choice, especially because Min Min is one of the best characters to stay on the stage to pressure your opponent. It's called ledge trapping. I say that she's one of the best simply because her arms are so long, she can effectively edge guard the opponent while on the stage. So she doesn't need to jump off of it, and one of the perks of having your feet on the ground is that you can choose when you do anything. Whereas if you're falling through the air, you only have so many timings that you can use. Min Min gets the tech roll, and just keeps smashing Pit into the roof. Bouncing Pit around like a pinball. Min Min, for some reason, doesn't seem to know how to be getting the kill, even though she does have the Megawatt arm equipped. It's a very strong up smash on Pit, but he just keeps getting all of these techs. Even if he's not getting the techs, you do bounce off the wall, and that can help you live longer. And Min Min finally is able to kill Pit. If she has that exact problem on the last stock, though, that's going to be really bad for her. Although I guess any stock where you can't kill the opponent is pretty bad. Pit with a taunt, we never like to see that. It's a little bit of a remnant of the older training that some of the older amiibo went through. Simply put, what I'm pretty sure happened is that since I kind of had to wing it to get all the amiibo stats right, I just had to equip whatever spirits were available. And even to this day, no one's really done a solid data dump of all the spirits. Or if they have, I don't know about it. But the spirits do affect the amiibo's internal values, and some of the spirits must have increased the amiibo's chance to use a taunt mid-battle, and that's something that's really hard to train out of them. And here we have Marth against Luigi. Looks like they're going to be on Gamer. Yes, I can assure you that's what the stage is called. It's based off of a mini game from one of the WarioWare games. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head which one, though. Okay, Marth held that forward smash for a little bit long. Luigi was pretty gutsy and actually just kind of floated just outside of the range. I'm surprised he didn't mess up and get hit by it. That edge guard? Oh, Luigi kept his jump, actually. Gets Marth off stage, and Luigi retreats to the top platform. Gets a grab, starts a combo, except that Marth bouncing off the ceiling actually messed up Luigi's combo. If Marth had teched, he probably actually would have taken more damage as a result. Great back air from Luigi that's able to take Marth's first stock. Marth has shown very little damage in retaliation against Luigi. Luigi air dodging aggressively into Marth, getting hit for it. That is something I'd normally advise against, especially if your opponent is just standing there. Both characters barely missing each other. Luigi once again retreating to that top platform. Not entirely sure why he likes it so much. There's not all that much there for him, but he just keeps ending up on it when he's trying to do something else. Barely missing Marth there. I don't know if it'll show up in the... because of YouTube having video compression and whatnot, but Luigi actually got the hit spark, which means that he just barely missed Marth. It's actually a cool effect, because it does at least tell you, hey, you were close. Luigi going for a very intense edgeguard against Marth, but it just did not work. And Luigi was unable to grab the ledge. Marth making Luigi get in his cardio for the day by running to the complete opposite side of the stage. Marth should make that back. Luigi again having to run all the way over to the other side of the stage. Luigi is faster on the ground than he is in the air, but he's not extremely fast on the ground either. I mean, compared to the slow characters, he very much is. But I think he's probably that way specifically because his grab and his throw combos out of it are so dominating that if Luigi was any faster than he currently is, he'd be an absolute nightmare to deal with. Marth going for the full swings of Dancing Blade. The problem being is that if you miss the opponent, it's actually a pretty laggy move as it turns out. It can be a little bit hard to tell on moves like that, specifically because if you haven't played the character, you never know if your opponent is just not acting super long out of any attacking lag they have. And Luigi making the worst double jump I've ever seen, I think. Luigi goes for the up smash, but he doesn't land it. And he only clips Marth with one of the hits of the down special. The Luigi Cyclone is actually a kill. What does Luigi do? He does at least side special out of there, but when someone is holding a smash attack, you do not spot dodge it, because then they will just release the attack after the spot dodge. Obviously, in that case, Marth just didn't. So Luigi got lucky there. Luigi might not be able to recover. He kept his double jump. He was able to recover. Sending Marth off stage, air dodges at him, footstools him, gets hit by him. All interesting plays. Up smash is going to bounce Marth around a whole bunch, but not actually kill. Luigi going needlessly high. And hitting Marth with the up smash is able to secure the kill. Which means that Marth has to keep fighting in the next round of the tournament. And in this corner we have Bowser Jr. against Pikachu. Looks like we're going to be on Dreamland. Which in this rule set, because stage hazards are turned off, it does mean that Wispy Wood shouldn't be blowing in the background. Which effectively makes this a kind of like an alternate to Battlefield. Since there are 3 platforms, they are slightly different sized. I don't know the technical differences between the sizes. I'm sure someone out there does. Pikachu trying to hit Bowser Jr.'s tech roll by using a Thunder Jolt on the wrong platform. Not a great idea. Obviously, as you can see, it did not work. Bowser Jr. able to recover. Pikachu is, of course, able to recover. Pikachu has one of the best recoveries in the game, I'm pretty sure. Very flexible, very difficult to edge guard. Bowser Jr. having fun on his little platform. Pikachu making the mistake of going up there and going after him, even though that hit did actually hit Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. rolling through Pikachu's down special. That's a very strong move, so you don't want to take it lightly. And Bowser Jr. getting the crap spiked out of him. Trying to go off stage against Pikachu. The Bowser Jr. amiibo does very much like going off stage. It's actually been to his detriment a lot because he does have a more punishable recovery than a lot of characters. Especially the way the amiibo recovers. Usually when you'll see a Bowser Jr. recover, they will use the cart side special because it gives you a free jump. Whereas their up special, if you hit them out of it at the right time, they don't get their clown cart back and they just fall to their death. Meanwhile, the amiibo loves to almost exclusively go for the risky up special. It does go a good distance, but again, a random hitbox can absolutely ruin your day with it, which is why it's not really recommended. Pikachu dance around on these platforms, able to follow Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. again going very dangerously low. And the up special is able to kill Pikachu. Bowser Jr. is at almost 100%, which is pretty close to being a stock behind. Unless Pikachu suddenly is unable to find a kill. But killing is not normally something Pikachu players struggle with. Bowser Jr. starts some sort of combo, and then just throws out a whole bunch of intimidating hitboxes around Pikachu. Pikachu naturally grabbing the Mecha Koopa with its forward air. That is something that can happen to real people as well. Although usually what happens with a real person is because you pressed A at the wrong time. And I guess the amiibo follow by those same rules as well. Pikachu going for a taunt, and then actually successfully killing Bowser Jr. off the top with Thunder. That's actually pretty hard to do as well. It changed the top hitbox of Thunder to send people downwards, effectively so that you couldn't just throw people off the top of the screen and get cheap Thunder kills like you just saw. But I guess Pikachu got a not the top hitbox, and that was able to actually kill Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. sent off stage, recovers very low. Keeping up the pressure by using the clown cart. Pikachu barely able to grab the ledge. That was really close. I wouldn't have cut it that close personally. Of course, Pikachu may not have had the choice. Although with Pikachu's up special recovery, you can choose the angles. So there's probably a better combination of angles that would have put him closer to the ledge. But again, he did make it to the ledge without dying, so I have to give him credit for that at least. Bowser Jr. struggling to land. Goes very high. This time he gets hit by the spiking hitbox of Thunder. They did keep him alive, but another thing to watch out for is that it can spike you into Pikachu, and when Pikachu gets hit by the Thunderbolt, Pikachu gets covered in electricity and gets a very strong hitbox. Bowser Jr. going low to recover, not getting killed for it this time. And gets Thunder Spiked by Pikachu, thrown off the opposite direction of the stage from whence he came. That's going to keep Pikachu out of the running. Well, out of the failure. Next up, we have Pac-Man against Wario. Two of the characters with probably some of the biggest mouths in the entire game. Wario can eat people whole, and Pac-Man is pretty much all mouth. The only people who even compare, I guess, would be Kirby and King Diddy. Although, they sometimes get fun with how far they can stretch a character's proportions. So, don't take any of it super seriously. In fact, Wario especially, you can see on some of his attacks, mostly his smash attacks, and a couple of his tilt attacks. He actually, to emphasize how big the hitbox actually is, he gets like a huge arm or a huge head or a huge... For his down tilt, it's actually just a huge finger. I guess his hand is attached to it, but... And Wario barely missing the trampoline, that could have saved his life. Well, it probably would have, because it would have popped him up right by the ledge. Both characters staying within 3 feet of each other at all times, it seems. Forward tilt at the ledge is able to kill Pac-Man. It is able to kill pretty much anyone at a high enough percent. It's a good kill move. And it's a lot easier to land than Wario's forward smash. Which is... It has better knockback scaling, but if you're at the ledge, you would much prefer to just slap him with the forward tilt instead of trying to go for the smash attack. Getting a lot of up airs on Pac-Man, that's great for Wario. More up airs, just clapping Pac-Man into oblivion, I guess. Jumps off of his bike, that can be risky. I know that some people like to leave Wario's bike on the stage so that they can do some stuff by like throwing it or trying to get a combo off of it, which is fair and understandable. The amiibo don't really know how to do that, though. Great ledge trap by Wario, actually. Able to get Pac-Man before he grabbed the ledge. Pac-Man, now if that was a real player, I would expect he wasn't expecting the hit lag from the bicycle to stop him from grabbing the ledge like that. And now Pac-Man using the hit lag to his favor, his smash attack stayed out just long enough to hit Wario. Wario tech-rolling away from Pac-Man, able to avoid the grab. It's interesting, Pac-Man's grab in Smash 4 was one of the worst in the game because it took so long to actually come out, and it was very hard to hit with. And in Smash Ultimate, they've just made it slightly faster and stay out longer, and now it is one of the best grabs in the game. Especially because it stays out for so long, you can actually catch spot dodges with it. Which is a problem because normally spot dodge is one of the few measures you have to protect against grabs. Wario hitting Pac-Man with the clap. Gets him off stage. Grabs Pac-Man, throws him away, and a forward air. You don't see that every day. Normally, Wario's forward air is a little bit harder to kill, so he goes for his back air instead. But it got him there fast enough, so he got the win. And here we have Squirtle against Dr. Mario. Looks like we're going to be on Yoshi's Island for this one. Squirtle carrying Dr. Mario off stage? Actually, no. He landed on the stage perfectly fine. Although now he's having a hard time landing. Under the Pokemon change, he does get hit for it, but he hits Mario back. Dr. Mario back. Dr. Mario sent off stage. Always a rough position to be in. Dr. Mario doesn't have a great recovery. In fact, he is one of the worst. It's just enough to get him back to the stage at the side of the screen, but you have to use everything. So if your opponent hits you out of it, then you're pretty much just gonna die. Dr. Tornado off the ledge. That actually, yeah, Dr. Mario can't make it back from that, especially because he didn't seem to mash as much as he could have, which would have kept him closer to the ledge. Also, Dr. Mario has a wall jump. You could have tried to use that to survive. It can be a little difficult when you are actually right by a wall to get the wall jump. Usually the input isn't too bad if you're throwing your character at the wall, because you just hold at the wall and then hold away and they wall jump automatically. You can also do it with a manual jump input. But when you're right at the wall, it can be difficult to either hold into it and then hold away, or I'm not entirely sure if the manual input works when you're just standing up against a wall. Very slow collision there. So whenever two attacks collide, they have to be grounded attacks, coincidentally. Whenever two grounded attacks collide and they are within a certain percent threshold, they can actually clash with each other, and then both characters receive kind of the recoil animation based off of how much percentage the other person's attack would have done. So if you have a slightly stronger attack that's still within the threshold, then your opponent will get stunned for slightly longer. Which does actually make sense when you think about it. But every once in a while you do get the rare situation where there's two very strong attacks that happen to clash with each other. Usually that's actually pretty hard. For example, forward smashes come out quick, don't last too long, and go a certain distance, which makes it difficult to clash with another forward smash, simply because, in practical terms, it's really unlikely to happen. Charizard flare blitzing back on the stage. Grounded Spike is not enough to kill Charizard. Most characters don't have a move strong enough that can do that. But an up smash, especially one that's been charged for just a little bit. The charge goes in a linear fashion, I'm pretty sure. But just that little bit kind of just hammers that nail in even more. And now we have Diddy Kong against Peach. Or Princess Toadstool if you so choose to be formal. Peach smartly deciding to not fall into that up smash. That's the kind of good decision making you want to see in the normal tournament season. Well, I guess it's also the decision making you want to see ever. Peach is just getting the crap beaten out of her by Donkey Kong. She cannot get her feet on the ground for more than a second. Now, Peach is a character who is very good in the air. Her float lets her stay there pretty much as long as she wants. There are, of course, limits, but her limits are a lot more forgiving than I've really... And that's a great spike by Diddy Kong. Peach getting the parry on the first part of the cartwheel, but the other part's still connecting. Something you need to watch out for multi-hit moves. Well, and specifically when trying to parry them. Peach getting the first parry on that up smash, and then actually rolling out of the way. That saved her from unnecessary damage. Peach floats, that stalls her landing just enough that she doesn't get killed by Diddy Kong. And she needs all the help she can get because she's almost lost her second stock and Diddy Kong's at only about 20%. And he is even, as we're speaking, auto-healing some of that away. So Peach just has not been doing great damage. And Diddy Kong, because of his posturing, is actually able to hit characters while standing on the platform. That's actually pretty impressive. A lot of characters don't have a smash attack that will go up that high. Forward smash is going to take Peach's second stock. Diddy Kong charging up an up smash that time. Again, Peach not getting hit by it, but also she doesn't seem to know what to do, even though she could just fall through the platform to the side of Diddy Kong and still getting... and probably still punish his smash attack. Peach finally launching Diddy Kong off stage. She goes very low. Diddy Kong able to make it back. Diddy Kong air dodging through Peach. She didn't throw out her attack yet, so it wasn't even super risky. Although if your opponent does see it coming, they can usually catch your landing. Forward smash is able to take Peach's third stock, while Diddy Kong hasn't lost any of his. Good job, Diddy Kong. You earned that win. You really just did. You were great. And here we have Simon against Roy. You know, saying it out loud, Simon and Roy sounds like it could be a Vegas act. Like they'd probably be doing magic with a whole bunch of pyrotechnics or something. Maybe there's someone already called that. I hope they don't sue. Simon going for 2 down tilts instead of the second hit of the down tilt, like I normally recommend because they combo into each other. But it seems to work and it destroys Roy's brain cells and he just falls off the ledge and does not recover. And Roy unable to recover again. I think this is going to be a very short match. Now I can say that recovering on this stage can be a little difficult simply because in the normal stage with stage hazards on, there's actually a barrel floating around the bottom that you can get stuck into to help you recover easier. But with hazards off, the barrel is not there. And because the stage is so low down, if you miss the ledge, you just fall to your death incredibly quickly. And that time, Simon fell to his death. So even characters with long-distance recoveries will hit the blast zone before they might get to use them. Simon able to actually grab the ledge. Air dodging past Roy. Able to grab the ledge though, so he didn't die for it. Roy recovers, but he had to land on the platform. He eats a grab from Simon as a result. Simon having exactly enough shield left to not get shield broken. It is risky shielding when you have a small shield because you can either get hit in the shield, which can break it, and then your opponent gets a free punish. And if not, then since your shield is so small, it can actually hit your character without hitting the shield, which people call getting shield poked. And Roy's able to make it back, as is Simon. Roy actually goes off stage to recover again, which is risky. However, because his recovery has a hitbox, he was able to get some extra damage on Simon. Back throw is exactly enough to kill Roy, apparently. That's that game. And for our last match of this video, we're going to be having Zero Suit Samus against Duck Hunt. Two amiibo who have been retrained before in the past. I will say they are definitely a lot more competent now than they were. Although it will be a test to see which one is doing better currently. Of course, the goal of all the retrainings is to keep the amiibo out of the retraining for the next year. And preferably many years after that. So at least this matchup will guarantee that one of these characters won't have to get retrained. But it feels as more of a numbers thing instead of a competence thing this time, simply because they happen to go against each other so soon. Zero Suit Samus pushing Duck Hunt off the ledge. Duck Hunt was able to actually recover. Side special barely clipping Duck Hunt. It was difficult to teach Zero Suit Samus how often to use the side special, because it's a fine move, and it's actually one of Zero Suit Samus' few kill options when the opponent's at high enough a percent. The problem was that in order to get Zero Suit Samus to use it to kill the opponent, you have to teach her to use it semi-often, and once you teach her to use it semi-often, she keeps throwing it out in all of the worst applications. Usually when the opponent's at a low percent and won't get hit by it anyway, thus getting her punished. So I think I kind of hit a good threshold with how often it should be. Zero Suit Samus getting clipped by the back hit of Duck Hunt's up smash. That's able to secure the kill. Zero Suit Samus is a very lightweight character, which is actually a little antithetical than what you'd think, simply because as far as just normal human standards go, she's really tall and, like, very muscular, actually. Forward smashing the ledge is just enough to kill Duck Hunt. Just enough, though. Zero Suit Samus with actually a pretty good improv combo there. Getting a couple of good hits on Duck Hunt. Mixing up timing of her landing so she's able to land that back air. Duck Hunt goes for a forward smash instead of a forward air. Probably should have gone for the guaranteed damage. Forward smashes do, in general, deal more damage than forward airs or any smash attacks, and any aerials normally have that exact same thing where the smash attack just does more damage. But oftentimes aerials you can combo into other things or exert into more pressure, whereas most characters you can't combo out of a smash attack. Duck Hunt throwing a can to cover his recovery. Actually trying to get Zero Suit Samus with it. He's unable to. Zero Suit Samus goes very low and then does not snap the ledge. Interesting decision. Clean forward smash is able to send Zero Suit Samus to the other side of the stage. Not enough to kill yet. And Duck Hunt just... yeah, that's his fault. He killed himself there. Barely missing getting hit by Zero Suit Samus' up air. Zero Suit Samus is very high, able to use her mobility to get away from Duck Hunt. That was actually really important for her because that high up on the screen any up-angled attack probably would have killed. An up air definitely would have, simply because there was no room left. But down here on the ground, Duck Hunt doesn't really struggle in the damage department, but he's not one of the heavy hitters either. So Zero Suit Samus can live a lot more when she's at the ground level of this stage. Now, when you're at 111%, you get hit by an up smash, it will kill you. So there are limits, you can't just survive everything. Falling off the ledge into an up air from Zero Suit Samus, that was actually a very good play. Duck Hunt totally whiffing the Frisbee point blank on Zero Suit Samus' shield, but it bounced off, so he was able to detonate it later and actually get the advantage in the situation. Zero Suit Samus backflipping to get back on the stage. Using her wall jump for just a split second there. And then unsuccessfully grabbing the ledge. That is unfortunate. I totally thought she had it there at the end. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Catch us next time when you get to see all these remaining amiibo fight each other again. Bye.